Good morning, everybody. Can you guys hear me loud and clear? Yes? Awesome, awesome. All right. Let's get into it real quick here. John Greer wanted to share this video with you guys. So here it goes.
What would it profit you or me if we spent all of our life in our career? I mean, we just worked hard and month by month, year by year, we just climbed of success. And I mean, we just really went at it. And I mean, we worked hard. What would it profit you or me to spend our entire life climbing the ladder of success only to get to the top and discover that it's leaning against the wrong building? And yet I see it all the time. I see people who literally spend their entire life and career doing something they're born to do. What's your passion? What's your strength? You see, once you discover your passion, you'll never work another day of your life. Because the moment you discover your passion and you love what you're doing, it's just something that you love to do, and it doesn't seem like work to you. And people that are successful, they know their purpose in life. They know why they are there. Now, I would encourage you, and especially some of you, because so many of you are young, you do have to understand at my age, everybody looks young now, okay? So I used to think it was amazing. Now it's just like John, they're all young. They're all young now. But I would encourage you at your age to really help for you to pursue this area of what is my passion, what was I born for, what is my calling, what is my strength zone, and whatever it is, I would encourage you to get right there and stay right in your strength zone. Now, I'm gonna make a statement. Again, I'm not in your notes yet, but just kind of keep taking notes and relax, okay? I'll go fill in the blanks a little bit later, okay? I want to stay on this for a few moments this morning. What I have discovered is, and I'm going to say something that's going to perhaps seem a little bit odd to you, but just stay with me and let me talk you through this process for a while. You see, I encourage people to discover their strengths and then stay with their strengths. And I'm going to say something to you that is kind of culturally opposite of what you're used to hearing. I'm going to say to you this morning, in the area of your skills, don't work on your weaknesses. You say, oh my goodness, what do you mean? Don't work on my weaknesses. The reason I'm telling you not to work on your weaknesses is because you're weak in your weaknesses. Okay? Now, that's in the States, that's totally opposite of everything we've been trained. Because in our education system in the States, if you get an A in math, and you get a C in language, then they tell you to work on your language. Is that the way they do it here in Singapore? Huh? They say, well, work on your language. And I'm saying, if you got an A in math and a C in language, don't work on your language. Just get on your knees and thank God you got a C. You probably deserved a D or an A. Now, why do you get an A in one subject and a C in another subject? Because some subjects kind of fit your leanings and other subjects don't. Isn't that true? Now, why I'm saying for you to work on your strengths, don't work on your weaknesses in the area of skills, watch this. From a 1 to a 10, if I'm a 2, which is not very good. If I'm a 2, and I really work hard and say, oh my goodness, I don't want to be a 2. If I really work hard, I don't know, maybe I can get to a 3. Maybe after years, I can get up to a 4. But you see, 4 is below average. And people don't pay for average. In other words, if I work on my weaknesses, I'll never excel, I'll never distinguish myself, and nobody will ever want what I have. Let me turn that around. Let's say I'm above average, I'm a 7 in an area. And I say, oh, good night, I'd like to work on my strength here. And I go from a 7 to an 8 to a 9. Now I get up there in that 9 category, people stand in line for 9s. You see, you got to work on your strength. If I work, for example, I love to sing. I just love to sing. That's the good news. You already know what the bad news is, don't you? I'm not any good. Now, I love to do it, but I'm not any good. So let's say I said to myself, well, my goodness, I'm going to get good at this. So I'm going to get a voice teacher, and I'm going to take music appreciation, and I take lessons for 2 or 3 years. Can I tell you, after I've taken voice lessons and practice hard for 2 or 3 years, instead of being a 1, I might be a 2.5. In other words, you still don't want to hear me sing, and you certainly aren't going to pay for it. You may pay me not to sing.
All right. Awesome. Hopefully, give me one. Well, current okay. So let me share with you guys my quote. I was recently watching the Michael J. Fox movie. If you've seen it, it's probably from the early 2000s. It's called For Love or Money, where Michael J. Fox plays a concierge at this big famous hotel in New York. And this is a quote. You guys have heard this quote before. The real version, I would say, comes from Zig Ziglar. But this is his version of it. It's, if you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you've always dreamed of. So I thought that was pretty cool. You know, he's a concierge, so he makes everybody in the hotel, he makes their dreams come true when they're guests of the hotel. And, you know, some of the people always wondered, well, when is he going to get what he wants? But if you get a chance to see the film, you'll get to piece it together. One more thing I wanted to share with you guys. I have to apologize to you. Last week, and touching on what John C. Maxwell was just saying in that video, is, you know, even the best of the best performers, entertainers, musicians, singers, that they all still hire a voice coach, and they keep practicing and bettering themselves in what they do. And one of the biggest things in sales, and I think in sports, which I like to relate to both, is you have to keep going back and analyzing your performance to better yourself. And I'm saying this, I have to apologize to you guys. 2 things. So some of you I've shared these videos with, and some of you have said, Benny, you stutter and you say way too many times. Trust me, I'm working on it. The other thing is, last week I went back and I saw it, and I almost wanted to turn off my own video because I thought, my God, I was so boring and monotone and so like out of energy. Then when we opened it up to you guys to talk, and everybody put in share their info as to what you guys are doing in business, then all of a sudden I got my second win. So just saying, you know, you always got to keep looking back at your performance. And, you know, every time you guys go on an appointment, a buyer or a seller appointment, or every time you're out in public meeting new people, networking, you're on stage, right? And sadly, if you're going to do what I did last week, where I was just like, hey, okay, and here's my quote, guys, if you help enough people get what they want, then you know what? That performance, nobody's going to want to hang out with that person. Nobody's going to want to pay to see that person. So go back and practice your scripts, you know, get a buddy, practice the scripts with your buddies, videotape your presentations amongst yourselves, and critique yourself. And you know what? It's not talking bad about yourselves. It's just bettering yourself in the areas where you can become a 9 or 10, like John C. Maxwell said, you know, if you're only a 6 there. You know, so keep that in mind. I'm sharing that because I believe that, you know, nobody's better than anybody else. I think we are all, you know, blessed with pretty much all the same capabilities, and we can always become better in everything that we do. So currently just barely started reading this book. I wanted to share with you guys. I mentioned to you guys a couple of weeks ago, I was reading Josh Altman's The Altman Close, and he refers back to this influence book by Robert Cialdini, and he's a professor of psychology at the University of Arizona, if I'm not mistaken. So, and here's what's great about it, right? They did a study, or Cialdini did a study about servers who left the mint with a check, okay, when they were serving a table, saw an uptick of 3% in what customers left them as a tip. All right. Now, when the server said, here are 2 mints for you, The tip didn't double, it actually quadrupled, okay? The next round of the experiment had the servers put down 2 mints, walk away from the table, stop, and come back and say, for you nice people, here are 3 mints. At that point, the tips were off the charts, coming in at an average of 23% higher. For any of you out there that are doubling as servers, how about carrying some mints on you? That's why you should always offer help, advice, kindness, and respect. It's an open, and he calls it open, you know, any situation where there is an opening for you to pitch, right? Maybe a bit slower than a buyer on the line, but it's an open nevertheless. It's giving to get, and giving to get makes money. Open, work, close, make money. Got it? Get it good. So if you get a chance, read that book, Influence. Buyer, seller, wants and needs. Anybody got anything? Please unmute yourself. You should be able to unmute yourself. Anybody got anything coming up that you want to talk about? No? Are you all able to unmute yourself?
I just was able to, so.
All right, awesome. So nobody? Okay, real quick, guys.
Question. Okay.
Oh, Gene,
So,
go ahead.
I have a seller that wants me to put the listing on hold because of the coronavirus. And I have another listing I just got into escrow. And I'd like to tell him, let's do the same thing with this one, but he wants to wait until the coronavirus is over.
Got it. So one of the things,
get it on the market.
yeah, well, real quick, Gene, I will say this though, you know, because I've had sellers approach me that, you know, hey, is this now a good time, or should we just wait till this is over? One of the things you got to mention is half of the competition went away. A lot of sellers, just as you're seeing with your own sellers, some of these sellers are saying, you know what, I don't want anybody in my house. There's too much uncertainty. I want to take my house off the market. I want to wait, or I don't want to list right now. But the thing is, half of the inventory went away. As an example, in Cypress, we had probably about 60 plus listings active maybe 2 months ago. And now I'm sure if we looked in the MLS, it's probably about 20, 25 listings, right? So a lot of that competition went away. The other thing is rates are still in the very low 3s for buyers. And we're going to get to Joe in a sec here. But the point I'm trying to make is there are still a lot of buyers out there, and the inventory, the selection is less. So that's causing, and I don't know if Angie Sandoval is on this call, but Angie Sandoval came in the other day and goes, I can't believe I got outbid. In this market, who would have ever thought? So there's still people overbidding and outbidding each other. The demand is there, right? And the inventory is low. So I would just share that with your seller, you know, but again, it's their final decision at the end of the day. But, you know, if you provide those stats, I'm sure that you might be able to get somewhere. And if you just go in the MLS and do a printout of what's pending right now, that should show a lot of people what's going on. So I will note just for the, just real quick for the wants and needs guys, Patrick Delaney's listing is still available. Pat, are you on the call? Are you negotiating any offers right now?
No, not yet. I've had a couple showings, but no bites yet.
Okay. All right. Well, it's coming soon. I told you 10 days. So you got like 3 more?
All right. Sounds
All
good.
right. Cool. All right. Well, good luck to everybody out there. Just a quick review of the numbers. So pending transactions, 3, I can't count good. I think we've got 10 in escrow right now, guys. And I'm sure we'll have more going this week. As far as closings, last week we only had 1 closing from Eduardo Morales. Congratulations, Eduardo, and congratulations to everybody else that's closed. I know that Don Roberts will be closing one here very soon, so congrats to Don and Carrie. All right, Mr. Joe.
Hey, good morning. How are you doing?
Good, good, good.
Awesome. So, yeah, I got a couple of updates for you, a couple of things I wanted to share with you. Had a situation recently with a doctor. He's an anesthesiologist, makes excellent income, had been a W-2 employee for about 20 years and recently switched to 1099. He's moving from Hawaii to here in California. And at his new employer, he's getting paid a 1099. Generally with like an FHA or a conventional mortgage, it's going to require you to have a 2-year history of being self-employed. So was insistent upon buying here in California, and his only option would be a non-QM loan. There's a lot of non-QM investors who aren't funding transactions anymore, but we were able to get this deal done with our own in-house non-QM product. It did require an exception because it didn't really fall within any of our guidelines for our non-QM products, but we were able to get an exception mainly because of his work history. You know, he wasn't changing lines of work, his income wasn't decreasing, he was simply just going from W-2 to a 1099 structure. So the reason I bring that to your guys' attention is if you're running across unconventional situations where, you know, your client's a strong buyer in the sense that they have a large down payment, they got reserves, they got a good FICO score, but maybe there's a situation where they're not reporting enough income, they need to use 1-year taxes where a conventional mortgage is requiring 2 years. You know, they have need an asset depletion program. We do have products for that, so definitely keep that in mind. The rates are always going to be higher, like on a non-QM product. On this one, I think the rate was about 5.5, but it was this client's only option for buying a property. So definitely keep that in mind if you come across those type of clients, as opposed to telling them they don't have any options. You know, send them my way. Let me see what I can do for them. Another thing I want to mention to you guys is the down payment assistance programs are still alive and well. And the rates are incredible. For a CalHAFA program today, the rate is 3.25%. You know, rates across the board are excellent right now, but it's definitely something that we don't see every day, where you can buy a home with no money out of pocket and get a rate of 3.25%. So you know, if you have clients looking to take advantage of that, let me know. FICO score requirements have gone up on these programs. For the CalHAFA product, they're at 660. For the Golden State Finance Authority program called Platinum, they're at 660 as well. And then there's a newer product called Open Doors, and they're at 680. So essentially, 660 is the minimum FICO score for down payment assistance nowadays. But you'd be surprised on how many people are looking for down payment assistance and able to meet that FICO score requirement. And as always, you know, if their FICO score is below that, we can always help them increase their score. And the last thing I wanted to bring up to you guys is marketing. I hope all of you guys are on Leah's weekly email. If not, please send me an email or give me a phone call. Let me know. I'll make sure that you get added to that weekly email. It always features a different flyer every week. If it's something that interests you, she can co-brand it. If you just have an idea in general, something you want to co-brand or some sort of marketing that you're looking for, reach out to myself or Leah. We'd be glad to assist you. We can make custom pieces as well. So if it's not something that we already have a template for on our marketing website, we can custom design flyers that you like, or postcards, things like that. So let me know if there's anything I can help with, guys, and hope everyone has a good week. Thank you.
Cool, Joe. Thank you. All right. I know that Christy Rye is, you know, if you guys will say a prayer for her or throw out some good positive vibes out there. I believe she's out with her mom, taking care of her mom. She's in an older folks home, and I guess she needs Christy's assistance. So please throw out those positive vibes. But here to bring Christy's energy and joy and knowledge is Keegan and Ricardo from the Rye team. So guys, welcome.
Thank you so much, Benny. So as far as I know, Christy is still working right now to try to get her mother out of the care facility she's currently in. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was an outbreak of coronavirus at this care facility. So Christy's currently trying to figure out, you know, where can we take her that's safe and that we can quarantine ourselves in. But in really good news, they did test her mother and she tested negative. So, you know, thank God for that. And so everything's looking pretty good on that front right now. So, but if you just can keep her and her mother in your prayers, we would really appreciate all of that. And I was going to talk today, as you know, we usually send out stat sheets showing what the sales are and comparables. And we've been about 2 weeks late on that, if you've noticed. And the reason for that is just because of how impacted and short-staffed all of the counties have been. The counties have not given us the data. Yesterday, we received the data for the first time. We've been bugging all of them to try to get it for all of you so that you can share it. And so today we should be able to get those reports finished so that we can send them out to you. We can also customize them, and Ricardo's on the line, I think, right now, and he can talk more about how he can customize that for you.
Yep. Can everybody see me?
Hey,
Hi,
Ricardo, how's it going?
Hi. So once we get the stat sheets in, it's gonna be, well, my plan is making customized social media posts for you agents where you tell me what city you want to post the stats for, and I'll put together a little social media sheet that shows the recent home sale prices, how many have sold, pending, and any other data you might like that's on the stat sheets. So yeah, as soon as we get that data in, we're gonna let you guys know, and we're gonna send out an email, and you just let me know which cities you'd like, and we'll make it happen for you.
Awesome.
And
thank you guys. Thanks for being on the call. We really appreciate it. We know you guys are busy gentlemen, so thanks again.
yeah, and I'm going to post a link in the chat to, I've mentioned before last week that we had the social media for the coronavirus. So I'm going to post a link to the Google Drive with that information in the chat right now for all of you.
Got it. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have Stephanie Pagan on the call? Steph, are you on the call? Well, all right, guys. She probably isn't on the call, but don't forget to include Christy Rye and the Rye team on your next purchase offer, as well as First American Home Warranty for all of your home warranty needs. And what about somebody from Property ID, Rika Fernandez or Caesar? Are you guys on the call? Okay. All right. So let's talk about the listing addendum now that we have for the coronavirus. Have you guys been using this at all? Yeah. All right. So please make sure to include this now on all of your listings, and also check off, you know, what activities are okay with your seller, installing signage, provide landscape services, paint, prepare and remove staging, prepare an agent's visual inspection and disclosure, what things are going to allow you, prepare a virtual tour or take photographs. These are just things to protect your bum, if I could use that word, you know, just so that your seller doesn't come back and say in the future, oh, you know, my whole family's sick because you let that photographer in, or my whole family's sick because you came in here because you wanted to fill out your Avid form. So please make sure to fill that out. You know, it's kind of like food poisoning. It's going to be pretty hard for a seller to, you know, say, oh yeah, it was because of this, or it was because of that. Oh, I know it was exactly when Marjorie walked in here on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Right after that, everybody got sick. You know, it's definitely not easily pinpointed that way. But, you know, just please protect yourself in having this document signed, and also your PEAD when it comes to your showings. All right. Anybody have any questions about this right now? No questions? Okay, I will continue then. Well, you know, actually, let me see. John Greer, is there anything you want to say? Yeah. John?
There, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
You know, that video was half over there that we started this meeting with, and so we didn't get it all out there, but I think y'all got the gist of it. And basically, what I wanted to say with that, to just kind of to conk it over the head, I guess, you know, is I've always advocated to find something in our business in the area of prospecting that that you like doing, just like the guy is saying. And so if you heard the tape or saw that little video, you know, that's where it would be kind of placed at, is the prospecting. So if you picked an area of prospecting and you like doing it, and you're having pretty good results with it, then that's where you'd want to excel and work on getting even better. So that was left out, Benny. I just wanted to throw that in there.
Got it. Yeah. But you're absolutely right. It's just like, you know, they tell you, you know, start cold calling, start doing this, start door knocking, start open house, whatever. And yeah, I guess you got to pick what you like and then, you know, improve on that.
And eliminate some of the ones you're not that good at, or you really don't enjoy doing. Just get rid of them. You really, it's called a niche. And if you had one or two niches, that's all you need to excel at. And so that, you know, I just wanted to throw that out there. By the way, well, Benny's got me. Can you guys notice I got a new hairdo?
Yeah.
And I wanted to stay up with Benny. So I've got the B Chavez cut. So thank you.
You took off like 20 years.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you look, you know, you're probably going to have to start hanging out with me now to go meet some girls. All right. Okay, guys, so let me go back here and hold on a second. Give me 1 second, everybody. I accidentally unmuted everybody. Almost, give me 1 sec. I'm muted now. All right, cool. Thanks again for being on the call, everybody. I know that you've got other things to do. So please, if you will, pour yourself another cup of coffee. I wanted to share with you guys, and touching back on what John was just saying, is I'm going to share with you guys what one of the, actually the #1 team in our company does. And you're going to, and Marjorie Tyson's going to say, and what she said last week, it's a system. They got a system, and absolutely, there's a system for everything. You've got a system every day. You wake up at a certain time. You know, I don't, because I wake up at weird different times every day. But, you know, a lot of us do have a system. There's still a system, right? Get out of bed, jump in the shower, shave, brush your teeth, put your clothes on, drive. You stop by your favorite coffee place. That's a system, believe it or not. So anyways, these people have a system. I'm going to share it with you. But you can actually remove the prospecting method and do like my buddy Renee does. He has a completely different prospecting method, but then apply the system behind it, right? The back office version of the system, and then see the results. So anyways, their prospecting method is open house, right? And one of the first things that they really do is they select the right open house to hold open. So if they get a listing that's outdated and it's like way far back in a tract, nowhere near a major intersection, they're not holding it open. They're just gonna put a sign up and try to work their sphere and, you know, put it on the MLS. But if they have a really nice looking house and it's maybe, you know, 2 streets in from the main intersection, that they're gonna hold that place open. So #1, they always select the right house to hold open. And wouldn't you agree that if you're holding open, for example, Patrick Delaney's listing, right? Turnkey, nice curb appeal. People walk in, they're like, wow, what a beautiful home. Aren't the chances, and let's step back for a sec, it's very difficult for you to sell an open house. You know, I know that Tamara, please don't get upset at me. I know that you've had that success in your last 2 open houses, but that is not the norm, okay? More power to you that happened for you, and I wish that kind of success for every single one of us, but the reality is that's not the case, right? But you do increase your chances if the home is in a really nice location, right? It's easily accessible, and it looks really nice when you first walk in, right? Chances of people jumping the gun on something that's turnkey and ready to go are much greater than if they walked in an REO that's got soiled carpets, smells like dog, and you get the picture. So always think about selecting the right open house. One of the biggest things that I do is in the MLS, you'll search for vacant. There's, you know, companies like Morgan 55, Maxim Realty. I'll give you, if you want, I'll email you guys the other names that are all really open to you doing open houses. The only issue is they're not all in the desirable locations that you'd like. Sometimes you might have to drive to Torrance to hold one of these open houses. You might have to drive to Orange to hold one of these open houses, right? But they are out there. The other thing is look for out of the area agents as well that have vacant listings. That's another one. So number one is selecting an open house, the right open house. So I'm saying something like this, definitely not this. All right, and you guys already know that. So, all right, number two, put out at least 40 signs. All right, Marjorie Tyson's not gonna put out 40 signs in her beautiful pinstripe suit, you know, fresh white dress shirt, makeup is all done and everything. She's not gonna do that, especially not at 98 degrees on July 10th of all days, right? So recruit a friend, a family member, somebody's teenager, right? Want a couple extra bucks. You guys have all met my friend Mark, right? He's my local buddy neighbor. And I actually give him 50 bucks and he shows up and we split the work. He puts out half of the signs in the morning and then I put out I put out the other half. And then in the evening, he comes by and helps pick up and I pick up too. And I give him 50 bucks for that and, you know, maybe buy him a round of beer or something. Yeah, 50 bucks is a little bit high, you might say, because it's not a lot of work and it's not like 5 hours of work or anything like that. It's really only about 30 minutes up front and 30 on the back. But still, you know what? You show up to your listing, you look fresh, you're not all sweaty, you're not a hot mess like I am. You know what I mean? You're more cool, you're more relaxed. You just got out of your AC car and the rest you already know. So open house signs, these are the ones that I use. And I put that purchase a home with only $10,000 down as a hook. You know, the other day I was reformulating or recalculating the down payment assistance programs. And actually, if you're able to negotiate closing cost credit for your buyer and get CalHFA's $10,000 with their down payment on a $400,000 house, they could actually come in with about like $5 to $7 grand out of pocket, right? So I might even change these signs in the near future to 5,000 just to hook people even more and say, well, yeah, you could do that on a $400,000 house. Oh, well, I'm looking for a 600. All right, well, you're going to need 12 grand for that. But if you guys get that, it's just, you know, getting people to come to your open house, more of a call of action. So make everyone sign in. That, you know, sometimes you'll have people that are reluctant or they just zoom right through. I'll usually have Mark hang around, and he's a big, you know, if you guys have seen him, he's a big, huge, you know, 300-pound bouncer looking white guy. So he'll actually say, hey, welcome. Yeah, that's Benny right there. Will you please sign in? And I would recommend that you use Open Home Pro. You can download that. It's an app on your iPad. I've shared this with you guys in the past. And you guys could actually edit the questions that it asks. So you could put a picture of the property like I did there. I did an aerial shot of that condo complex. And then they just click it. I'll also share with you, if you'd like, ask me, message me later. Pile makes a white metal stand for your iPad where you could lock your iPad in there and set it to Open Home Pro. And the stand's only like 60 bucks. Put it in the doorway. It just, you know, people like that kind of stuff. It's weird. They see stuff like that in the mall. They call it a kiosk, you know? So that's just a little different idea. So I wanted to share with you guys the questions that it does. So please sign in, right? Name, email. What is your phone number, right? What is your home address? And Maria actually asked for these three questions or these three replies because they want your phone number and email so that they can message you, obviously. But what they do with your home address is they send you a handwritten note. And they also make a really good note of whether or not you own a home because they want to know that you might be a potential seller in you know, the near future. So You could alternate the questions. You could even put in, how soon are you looking to buy? ASAP, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, whatever. You can edit those questions as you please. So have a hook lying around in your open house. I know that Don and Carrie, when they've done open house, I let them borrow my little riders. But one time in one of my listings, I put on the iPad, instead of having people sign in, I just put up the picture of my hook, and everybody gravitated to that hook. And this is what the hook was. Purchase this home with only $10,000 total, including closing costs. Ask me how. And I'm going to tell you, there's people that got 10%, 20% down. They all want to know about this program. It doesn't matter. You know, everybody's got champagne taste on a beer budget, right? Would you agree? So they really want to do this. They really want to save and hang on to all their money. If they could only get in with 10 grand, they'll do that. So I leave that on the counter. You know, some guys I've noticed will put signs like this in the bathroom or one of the bedrooms, you know, just so that when they come back and are heading out of the house, you know, they'll ask, hey, so how does that work? Or, you know, blah, 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 blah. And there you go. So don't forget to be friendly, be fun, and last but not least, be professional. You know, it's just it's a cocktail party, you know? So, yeah, there are some agents that are a little bit more pushy, and they'll say, well, if you want to buy this house, you're going to have to go through me and forget your agent. Don't be like that. There's no need for that. There's enough to go around. Just be friendly, be fun, and be professional. And trust me, you will reap the rewards of it. Number 6, don't forget your ABCs. If you guys know that, it's always be closing. Always be closing. What do I mean by that? So, what did you think of the house? What did you like most of the house? Is this the house for you? Would you consider making an offer on it? Do you think the price is right? You know, questions that are going to garner a response. And again, I would always say, oh, would you like to make an offer on this? Oh, do you see yourself living here? You know, oh, which bedroom would you pick for yourself? You know, questions like that, that's closing. Always be closing. So don't forget to do that. That's your job. You're selling. You know, it's nice. Trust me, and I'm more guilty of being the fun and happy guy. But I'll tell you, sometimes I forget to do my ABCs, but you got to remember, you're there to sell, right? You're a salesperson, so don't forget that. Number 7, send a text when the open house is over, all right? Immediately. You know, it's funny. These people aren't going just to your open house. They're going to multiple open houses that day. At least 4 to 7 open houses on that one day, right? Imagine if you're the only person that sends a text saying something like, hello, Kay. Thanks for visiting our open house today. www.10914 So you even included the website of that property so they could click back and go and look at it again. Please let us know if you have any questions about this home or any other homes you may be interested in. We've attached the link to our app that allows you to easily search for homes on your mobile device. When you see something you like, please don't hesitate to reach out to us, and we will make sure to get you in to see those homes or see the home. The team at LA Home Guy. Download LA Home Guy Real Estate mobile app here, right? P.S. We look forward to helping you find your next home. Now, here's the thing. If you'll see here, April 3rd, right, I sent her another text. Well, the problem is she came to my open house in 2018, right? And I waited almost a year later to follow up. No bueno. But I do this just to show you guys that, hey, you know, you still got to keep sending stuff to them. You know, it should have been every month. I should have sent her a text. I didn't. And then look, she even changed phones. If you see that, the green, she used to have an Android. Now the blue, she's got an iPhone, right? So chances are she's got a new iPhone. She probably has a new home. I'm just kidding. So, hello, are you still looking to own a home? I can help you purchase a home with only $5,000 down using a program for first-time buyers from the state of California. Here to help when you're ready. Another thing, Marjorie Tyson loves to send a handwritten note, right? Thomasina Mulhern sends you guys a handwritten note every time you close a deal, right? It's nice to get handwritten notes, right? It really makes you stand out from everybody else, you know? So keep that in mind. Write a handwritten note. It's personal. People will really, you know, feel warm from your handwritten note. So keep that in mind. If you do end up getting their address, a lot of the times, you know, the open houses in the beginning, a lot of them are the neighbors, you know? And I usually like to ask the question, hey, welcome to the open house. Are you one of the neighbors? No, we're not. Or, oh yeah, I am. Oh, great. Which one's yours? You know? Or, you know, if you've got nobody else coming in, you know, you've done it before. You look out the window and see which one they walk back into. Write down their address. Call Christy Rye, ask her for a profile. Go into the OCT website and get that person's name and send them a handwritten note. You know, gosh, what a concept. So stay in touch monthly. You know, contrary to what my actions were, as you saw earlier, you know, stay in touch monthly. The reason this works for, well, not that it works for everybody, okay? But one of the things that I noticed that Maria does is she delegates a lot of her work, all right? They have a full-time assistant in the office. When they're done on Sunday, all their leads that came in on Open Home Pro get emailed to them, right? And then their assistant grabs all those names and numbers and emails. She sends the text messages out. She writes the handwritten notes, and she uploads all those leads to another funnel where it's all the people that ever came to every single open house, right? And so, you know, every month they're sending the huge list. They send them something of value, right? Either a message or, hey, we got a new listing, whatever it is that they can do to stay top of mind, they'll send that through a text. Another thing that I know that Chris does is he calls all of those contacts at least once a month, right? But you got to remember also the assistant is sending a handwritten note and the text right after the open house. So high touch, right? So if you're not doing this, which I'm guilty of it, right? Look, guys, Zillow's doing it. That's sad. Now, here's the sad part about it that I think, ready, is this guy is probably making $15 to $25 an hour. And quite possibly, oh, that's the thing I really wanted to touch on, is all of this is probably already automated. So you're getting this from this Alex guy, but it's probably already automated in his system, right? And guess what? If he finds a buyer, all he's going to do is pass it on to that agent that pays $700 a month for that lead, right? Don't we make on average about 10 grand a deal? Wouldn't it behoove you to, you know, follow up with these people and, you know, for 10 grand, you know, this guy's making, you know, I don't think he's making $20 an hour working at Zillow, you know, and if he passes off a lead, he's not going to get a referral fee, you know? So, you know, and look at this, August, September, November, January, February, March, April. I mean, this guy's been on me, you know, and I can't remember how they got my number, but there it is, you know? So if you want, screenshot this for yourself and send that to you. Another thing, so did everybody get my text message this morning? Okay, so check this out, guys. I don't know how to do it on what's Samsung, Android. I don't know how to do it on Android, but I know how to do it on iPhone. And Don Roberts is my witness. I probably spent a whole afternoon and a whole morning trying to figure this out, but I finally figured it out. And the text that you guys got from me, I want to say last Thursday or Friday, I think it was Friday, that was an automated text, okay? The text you got this morning from me at 9:40, that was an automated text. You can go into YouTube and learn how to do these things, set it up on your phone, group your clients either as buyers or just clients or sellers, right? And you could every month or every 2 weeks send them a text, right? Hey, the office gets a new listing. Hey, just listed. Thought I'd let you know. Who do you know? Maria and her team double end almost every listing that they get because they build this huge funnel of people that walk into their open house. And prior to them putting the listing on the MLS, they send a blast. They send a text and they say, hey, Feng, I just got this listing in Downey. It's not yet on the market. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a swimming pool, yada, 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 yada. Who do you know that would like? And then guess what Feng says? Hey, Maria, thanks for staying in touch. You know what? I'm not ready right now, but I'll let you know. Then Joey, the other guy that gets the text, he goes, hey, Maria, you know, thanks for staying in touch. I'm not looking in Downey, but I'm ready to look in Bellflower, right? So they're generating new business by sending stuff out, right? Give to get, like we mentioned earlier with Cialdini, right? Give information. You've got insider information. I've got a listing coming up. Nobody else has access to this. Who do you know, right? And then they're coming back and going, you know what? Well, Downey's not a good fit for me, but I'm ready to buy in South Central Los Angeles, right? So YouTube, if you'd like to do that, just YouTube how to send a mass individual text using Android or iPhone, and you'll be able to do it. And I'll tell you, I finally figured out, it really took me probably about 6 hours. I got frustrated. I wanted to punch the computer in the face, but I finally figured it out. So, and you can too. So last but not least, I think we're running out of time here. Deposit checks into bank account and drive past everyone who ever doubted you or doubted that you'd make it in real estate on a rainy day and splash some rainwater on them with your Rolls Royce. So one last thing before I forget. On my open house flyer, I print on the front, I print the, you know, the regular open house flyer. Everybody wants them. You know, there was a time when I stopped doing flyers because I'm like, why throw away paper? People just throw this stuff away. But I thought, you know what? People want it. It's like a tradition kind of a thing where people always ask for the flyer. So I print the flyer on the front and then I print this on the back. And what I do on this side, I buy a $1 lotto ticket. So if my open house is on Saturday, I'll buy a lotto ticket for that Saturday. If it's Sunday, I'll buy a lotto ticket for like Tuesday, right? I'll staple it to the front, to this side of the flyer and hand that to them, right? And it just lets them know. Did you know there are currently over 500 homes for sale in our area? Only 1 out of 50 homes is ever advertised. Many homes are sold without for sale signs. Most homes never have an open house, which means you may be driving past your dream home and never realize that it's for sale. We'd love to help you find your next home. Call us to schedule a free home buying consultation today. And with that, I leave you. Give me 1 second. Wait. Give me a sec. And I'll leave you guys with a last little quote here from Earl Nightingale, and he says, "All you need is the plan, the roadmap, and the courage to press on to your destination." Sorry. Earl Nightingale. Guys, this was like, honestly, like it's very short and concise, but it's actually all the steps that you need with any prospecting method, right? The thing is it requires work, right? And you guys know this. I've said this to you 1,000 times before. I'm the laziest person you'll ever meet, okay? I hate working. Trust me, if I was born rich, I would have never met any of you guys, okay? So here's the thing. Go out and do it. You know, stick to the plan. You will make it. If you guys have ever heard of Bob Wolf did an open house every single day of the week for an entire year. The guy lives now in Dana Point, has his own brokerage, has a Bentley convertible in the driveway that he's never driven. Brand new, they delivered to his house. He's never driven it because he's got no time. The guy's busy, right? And he's never done an open house since, probably, right? So it's just, you got to stick to the plan and go through it. And I know it's not easy, guys. Trust me. You know, I share this with everybody. I'm on the 15-year plan to lose weight, and look, right? So, you know, you have here a roadmap. If you want these slides, just to go over them again, please email me. And before we leave, I want to, Marjorie Tyson, are you there? She wants to share with you guys her her pretty face here.
Benny's on the seafood diet. He sees food and eats it. Hey, everybody, be safe. And if you're going to wear a mask, at least make people laugh.
So anyways, hey, everybody, before we go, does anybody have anything that they'd like to comment on, a question, anything? I'm going to go ahead and unmute everybody.
Period.
I have a question.
She was 18 years old at Purdue University, period.
What's that?
Benny, I was curious. Right now, we're allowed to do open houses?
No, we're not. We're not.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe in a few weeks. Now.
Okay, delete that. And then let's find out about the kids, remember?
So, sorry, I muted everybody just so we don't have, you know, some of the background noise. But touching on Nancy, she just asked, are we able to do open houses? The answer is no right now. You know, I'm glad you asked that, Nancy, because I shared this a couple weeks ago. I took for granted the opportunity of being able to do open houses. I loved it. That's my thing. That's my prospecting method, is open houses. Hate door knocking, hate cold calling, everything else, you know, social media and open houses, that's my thing, right? You know, it's crazy. Right when this was all starting, I remember going to a park and sitting on a park bench to have lunch with a friend, right? I've never sat at a park bench and had lunch in my life, okay? And this is the first time I ever did it. It's because I took being able to sit at a park bench or even walking through a park for granted, right? Open houses, took for granted too. I'm with you guys Monday through Thursday, 9:30 to 2:30. After that, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I could be out there doing my open houses. Did I do them? Of course not. Now, I shared with you guys this open house strategy, that you could apply the back system of it to any prospecting method. But you know what? When this all opens up, I challenge you. Go out there and take advantage of having that opportunity to hold an open house. And I'll tell you, you know, don't take this the wrong way, okay? I've been guilty of it in the past. If your first response is, well, I don't know how to get an open house, then forget it, you know, because that's just an excuse, you know. We don't have a lot of listings here, but you could ask. We have so many other listings between all of our offices, and that's just there. If you go outside, trust me, there's agents out there that will let you do their open house gladly. So there's no excuse of there not being an open house. Polly Watts, Maxim Properties, their policy is first come, first serve. Believe it or not, I have gone 3 days in a row to a Polly Watts listing in the past. One time at 9 a.m. and the guy beat me. I go, oh, I'm going to get him tomorrow. And I show up at 8 a.m. and he beats me. And I show up at 7 a.m. Then I realize this guy's not there. He just put all his signs out, you know? You know, but they're out there. Those opportunities are out there. There are people that will love to have you do their open house. So please, when the time comes, you know, do it. It's not it's the opportunity is there for you. Anybody else? Carol? Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, Benny. Hi, everyone. I just want to share to drive a point that when you started the meeting about taking opportunity now, because my buyer actually wanted a specific location, specific area for a house, and listing came up, and it was during this crazy time, and of course his business has been affected quite a bit. He has a large business and therefore he has decided that he will hold off until he had a better gauge as to how his business is going. So that's legitimate reason. But the property came on the market in 4 days and it sold. It was sold and closed escrow. And so I would assume that it's a cash offer and it just went so quickly. So I'm just saying that, and I, of course, this scenario, I reported back to him and saying, well, you know, the property's moving, and just because, you know, you have your specific reasons not to purchase, but the property's not going to wait. So I think that drives a point to him that to seriously look at, because those properties, sometimes if you're very specific in their area, it's very difficult to come by. And so I just wanted to say, you know, business is happening out there. It's just that if it's not your client, somebody else is buying it.
Yeah, and absolutely. And you know, like I mentioned, the inventory is a lot less than it was 2 months ago. And on average, because of the rate drops, people are saving, I would say, from $300 to $700 on, depending on their purchase price, you know, from their monthly payment. So, and again, this is all gonna, today we had a manager's call for corporate, and, you know, they were talking about these scenarios like what you're just sharing now, Carol. And, you know, one thought that came that I didn't share with them, but a thought in my mind was, how many people have lived and owned a property and died? Which is an ultimate thing, right? There's no coming back, right? And look, real estate still goes on, right? Their heirs still had to do something about it. They had to sell or whatever, you know, fix the house and move in themselves and whatnot. This is not a permanent thing like death. Sadly, yes, I do realize and recognize that there are people that have been affected by this and have lost a loved one, or you know, people have died in this, but this is not a permanent thing, you know, and pretty soon everything will be back to normal. And then, you know what, you know, we're going to have rates go back up again. I really think that this is just like when your dog gets loose out of your house, and they, like, at least my dogs do this. They don't love me, so they gun it. They feel like they've been kept prisoners for life. So they gun it, and they end up like a mile away. But I think people are just going to, and look, it's true. I spent the entire weekend at the beach, not you know, in the crowd with people, but Friday night I went and had sushi at the beach, right? Just sat in my car and had sushi, you know, looking at the ocean. Saturday I went on a bike ride during the day, and then went on a bike ride in the evening at Seal Beach, right? And it wasn't a lot of people. But then Sunday, I went with my buddy to grab lunch, and we were trying to get to Huntington Beach, and we turned around because the cars, it was just way too many cars and way too many people. So people are fed up, and that's proof right there. This weekend was proof that when people are allowed to go back out, look at it. Right now, they're not allowed to go out, and they crowded the beaches this weekend. So imagine when it's finally, yeah, let's do it. Our economy is going to boom. Things are going to go crazy. And like I said before, everybody, it doesn't matter who you are, if you never thought about your mortality or immortality, now more than ever, you've thought about it, right? And a lot of people are going to say, I don't own any real estate. I'm going to own real estate now. I never owned a Rolls Royce. I'm going to go buy a Rolls Royce now. I never owned a Rolex. I'm going to own a Rolex now. I never took that family vacation I wanted to take with my family. I'm going to take it now. Whatever it is that these people had put off for years and years, they're going to go do it. The airline industry is going to do well. Everything's going to do well. Real estate's going to do well. Whatever it is, you name it, people are going to challenge themselves to finally, you know, face their fears and go for it. I really believe that. So anyways, everybody, thank you. Anybody else have a last question or comment or concern? Is everybody okay? Thank you again for joining us. I unmuted everybody again.
Okay. Con phải đi tắm rồi nha.
Okay, so thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Make it an amazing week.
See you.
Adios.
Is she? Because call her over here now.